Leah. Hi, Aryan. Sophia Soto with the Nerds of Color. And can I just say the most perfect casting choices? I mean, you guys are incredible in this series. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much.
Of course. To start off, I know when I read the books originally, these characters meant so much to me. And I'm curious for each of you, what did your specific character represent to you or how you related to them when you first read the books or were introduced to the world of Percy Jackson? And did it change at all after playing them after season one? Do they mean something different to you guys now?
Hmm,
It's a really good question.
that's a very good question.
Thank you.
Oh man.
One thing about this for a
Glad
second.
it's I know you guys are doing a lot of press. I'm so glad you haven't been asked it before.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you
for
for
this.
Thank you.
Sorry, we
an
just wanna
original.
do your
Thank you.
question justice.
Wait,
I
so
don't wanna,
she's saying
give it
that, like,
Did how you view your characters or what they mean to you change at all after playing them for a season? Because, bringing them to life, I feel like is you guys do it perfectly.
I definitely appreciate the physicality of Grover a lot more. It's not something you really think about when you're reading the books, but especially like at Yancey Academy, he's trying not to kind of show his his like trot, I guess.
Yeah.
And getting to work with like they brought in a movement coach and we talked about like, oh, when he's happy, he's a little his stance isn't as wide. And when he wants to run, he's a little lower to the ground,
Yeah.
And I think it's not something you really think about when you're reading the books, but getting to, I guess, bring the physicality of Grover to life was it's something I did have to think about.
I have to say, I spoke with the creative team at New York Comic Con, and they all complimented you of how you did that, by the way. Just the
Thank you.
movements of Grover. I just wanted to tell you that. They were all like praising you for how you did that and praising the three of you for really how you brought the trio to life. But when you talked about the movement, I had to just tell you they were all talking about how amazing you did.
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Of course.
I feel like, going off of Aryan's, like, the physicality, something I didn't, something I didn't do consciously, like, subconsciously, I noticed when I was watching, like, rewatching all the episodes that, like, physicality-wise, I look very awkward, and that, I feel like that's a very good thing, because, he's a growing boy, he's 12, and, it's something I didn't, like, add on purpose, but it kind of came because I was the same age as him, and hopefully next season I'm not as awkward. But I think it really works for Percy in the first season.
It's a very Percy thing. Like, I didn't even think about that, but it's very in character for him.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, now I see what. Yeah, this is a good question. Okay, so actually, when I read the books and stuff, I'm how do I explain this? Like hearing that reading that there was one girl in the book, well, like not in the entire book, but like in that main trio, like I tried to put myself as it, like when you're reading a book and you try to imagine everything. When I was reading the book and there was scenes and there was like what I mean, like
Yeah.
chapter, like
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know how to say, like when there was like certain parts in the book that mainly focused on Annabeth, I like picturized like me being that person, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
Like a self-insert into the character almost.
yeah, and when it was Grover and Percy, I imagined looking at them doing it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when it came to like the girl part, I put myself in it because like I am a girl, obviously. So, I put myself as that. But, and then it made me get into the part of it. Then I felt like when I had got the part, which was years later, like now I'm just going back to see myself sitting down like in my little library couch in 5th grade and stuff, like, like sitting here reading it and stuff and thinking about it. Now I'm like, I don't have to really imagine it. I am doing these parts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's even better, if that makes sense.
Very
It's
much
such a good
makes
question
sense.
that I don't even know how to fully explain it, but
was a
Thank you.
very
Oh my
good-
gosh, you guys are so sweet. Listen, I gotta step it up. I know you guys are doing a lot of press, and I gotta As amazing
Thank
as
you.
your performances are, I gotta bring you amazing questions. And one thing that is clear is how well the three of you work together on the screen, and that there's a clear friendship off screen. I'm curious if there was a moment for each of you where you felt the trio's friendship and just the trust as you were working together really solidify, and we're like, okay, these are really close friends even off screen.
Not at all.
No.
Never happened.
Mm-mm.
There was a lot of those, but I feel like we had one every day, like at the beginning in the morning, and then we kind of just come together and like midday at the end, and kind of figure out what we're actually supposed to do, and then we would rap. But
Figure out what we're supposed to be doing like halfway
and then
through
the day would end.
Yeah.
But I feel like the moment where we all kind of like solidified ourselves as like a trio was when we all got in the rain for the first time. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
At the end?
That was a little bit less than halfway through.
In the rain?
Mhm,
In the real rain?
that was
on
in
the
September.
beach, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and at the like close to the end we were filming?
In episode
Yeah.
6, we filmed that before episode 5 though. We filmed that in
Yeah, we did.
September.
Yeah.
We filmed that pretty early on. But
Coming out of the taxi cab.
exactly. But I just think that we all kind of shared that like uncomfortable moment together, and that kind of brought us closer, you know?
That
I mean, that was a pretty perfect answer.
Go for it.
Yeah, that was a pretty good answer. But to add on to that, you know, like I feel like our friendship built off of apology. And when I say that, I mean like, you know,
Too
like
much time in
we would all
Vancouver.
bully each other throughout the day, and then, you know, at the end the friendship built because we said I'm sorry to you later on in the day. You know, like after I pushed Walker in the water or I knocked Arya into a wall, you know, the friendship, but you know, we still kept it intact because, you know, at the end of the day when they said cut, I was like, okay, sorry guys, and then did it again, you know, the next day. So, you know, sorry, you know, it was pretty good though, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I still said sorry though.
It's sorry, it's all that matters.
Yeah.
That water scene was classic. I mean, one of the best ones of the first.
It's a really good shot. I mean, yeah, I agree. Especially during those first 2 months of prep, when we were still kind of getting to know each other, we went out to dinner a lot. Like on the weekends, we would go to. This is somewhat unrelated, but I'd actually never had ramen before I met Walker, and he took me and Leah to this place called Jinya, and that's where I had ramen for the first time, and that was. I'm definitely very grateful to Walker for that.
Thank you all so much again for your time. Congratulations. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you
so
for your
much.
great
You too.
question.
Thank you.
Activists, directors, comments and the lectures, fanboys, professional artists and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies,